Hey, this is Matt once again. What about to the videos? Another paid request this time for Jonathan Lindsey. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested to request any type of videos, uh, topics, reactions, commentaries, reviews, re-reviews, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And you want me to look at this article from World No World Now News. Never heard of this website. That's why it's hard for me to even say the damn words coming in my mouth. Because I'm like, what the hell is this website? Pretty much talking about how there's a rumor of a Die Hard prequel. Now, rumors you take with the greatest amount of salt, vinegar, whatever the fuck your toast of the town today want to be. To me, none of it, unless I want salt on my french fries. I'll take that salt, but it says here Daniel RPK, a bit of an industry insider, dropped hints on Patreon that a dire prequel is in the pipeline. As per Deep Vibes Nation, he spills the beans that it will focus on young John McClane and his adventures. Of course, it's rumor territory until 20th Century Studios gives the green light. Remember when there was talk about Die Hard Year 1? Yes, I do remember those talks. That plan got tossed aside and out the window when Disney bought 20th Century Fox. It became 20th Century Studios. And of course, Bruce Willis, there's no way he could reprise his role as like an older John McClane looking back. Totally what they did with Indiana Jones, with the young Indiana Jones adventures, where once in a while you'd have an older Indiana Jones reminiscing about what happened back in the day. I think even one of them had Harrison Ford himself, one or two episodes. Fans are already tossing around names for the actor who could nail John McClane as a youngin'. Chris Pratt, Taylor Kitsch, John Krasinski, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Charlie Hunnam. If this rumor pans out, we're in for a wild ride into McClane's early days, adding some spice to the dire legacy. Well, first off, this website. The only spicy is maybe if you lick a sweaty asshole. Maybe that's the salt they're thinking of. Maybe the salt I was thinking of when taken with a grain of salt. Let me say something. A dire prequel would never work. Now, again, will this happen? Probably eventually. Right now, there's no word on it right now. Eventually, there could be, but at the same time, I would more likely it would be a Die Hard reboot, where it'd be just a different John McClane or a female John McClane. They changed the name. Diana McClane. I don't know. Jenny McClane. There you go. Jenny from the block. Jenny McClane. I believe Charlize Theron or Gal Gadot, Gal Gadonk, whatever the hell the new it girl that they'll shove in there to try to make famous or try to create a franchise of their own and lead into possible more movies. But do you remember these berries of Die Hard and these certain elements? Or maybe they would try to do a young John McClane and just have some younger guy. And but like I said, this will, no matter what you do, it will never work. Just when people look at John McClane, they think of Bruce Willis. They think of him, his wit, his humor, his charisma, his everyman quality. Even when it got a bit more superhero with the later sequels, especially Die Hard 5, A Good Day to Die Hard, people will still, especially now that he's had this affliction, so he had to be forced into retirement, which gives sympathy to the mass audiences. Oh man, that's so sad, that's so terrible. So there's going to be a portion of people thinking that if you try to replace him or you try to market a movie without him, they'll even they will take it as a personal insult. And they don't need to. They could, because they always try to milk these franchises, and they've done it many times before. I mean, there's supposed to be a Crow reboot coming out this year. Like, we needed one. How many times have they made a Crow without Brandon Lee, who sadly passed away, and the film failed? Crow City of Angels, Crow Salvation, The Crow Wicked Prayer. The Crow TV show is not that bad, but it lasted. It's not like it lasted 5 years or something. And that's the closest you got to success, utilizing the Crow name and IP, other than the original film with Brandon Lee. So it's just, hey, we have this brand, we own it, how can we get some extra dollars out of it? So they could make this one day, again, be a reboot or a prequel, whichever their pick is, whatever fucking coin toss they make that day, and heads they make a reboot, tails they do a prequel. It will eventually happen, because it always eventually happens, but it will not be successful. Just like Terminator, when they did Genesis and Dark Fate, just like Alien, when Prometheus came out and was a disappointment, and Alien Covenant came out and was an embarrassment. People can mark out and pray all they want, but did not go into theaters for good reason. I thought it was a really shitty movie. Ghostbusters 2016, we all know how bad that was. Talk about pussy farts, and I don't have any, where's my wontons, and shooting ghosts in the dick. Because that's what I need in Ghostbusters. Or Afterlife, to be so desperate, let's bring the old ancient Ghostbusters out of retirement, shuffling along. We tear off Harold Ramis because he died in real life, and then we bring back his ghost to emotionally manipulate the audience. Do you see how the feels are here? Here's Harold Ramis. He's dead. He's a ghost. Can you get the feels? Yeah, I see how manipulative you are, you fuck. As you just rip off the ending to the first fucking movie. These are the same fucking terror dolls and the same fucking villain. Anyway. They do this shit all the time. So if it gets announced, don't be surprised. It's going to eventually happen. Just like eventually, I mean, we're not going to ever do another Indiana Jones without Harrison Ford. They'll reboot the character. Give it 10 years or so. Give it time. They eventually will. Or they'll do some other projects that's in the same vein. As in spin-off, whatever the case may be. Do not be surprised. And they say with Die Hard, without Bruce Willis and John McClane, you don't have a movie. Because that's what makes Die Hard as a franchise. Just without him, Die Hard are films, the first four, with well-executed action sequences. But what makes them stand out and be unique is the central main character of John McClane. The way he behaves, his wit. And then we've had so many films rip off that formula. We've had so many characters. We've had so many actors that, whether they want to admit it or not, were inspired by Bruce Willis and how he approached the role and how it was like an action movie version of Bugs Bunny. Being a smart ass, being a smart aleck to the bad guys. And that era where the action heroes we think of as like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Chuck Norris, and they would have like a cool one-liner. But then this is not like the smart aleck, wise ass. Like Axel Foley did it before in Beverly Hills Cop. Kind of that vein. But even more of an everyman where he's like a family man and he's downtrodden. He's separated and he's squishing the carpet with his toes. And it's the way Bruce Willis approached the role. His demeanor. His cadence. Other people have tried to do that, or they try to do their Die Hard wannabe films. Some better than others. Cliffhanger, Die Hard in the Mountains, great movie. I like to Take Your Beverly Hills with Ken Wall. Yeah, Sudden Death, Die Hard in a hockey ring. Under Siege, Die Hard on a battleship. Various others. So to do another one, it'd be like, okay, was going to be someone who is, like, it's a reboot. Let's say it's a reboot. Okay, no one's going to want to see someone else play John McClane. Especially if they try to make it, well, he's got to be Asian or he's got to be black. Not because we found an actor who's the best fit for the role. He just happens to be that. No, it's that we have to fit some kind of checkmark box to make it seem like we're not racist and sexist. Please, like us, please. Or we make it female. Which, I mean, when South Park's making fun of you and making fun of Kathleen Kennedy, put a woman in and make your day. That's literally a thing South Park's doing nowadays. It's like, well, they got a point. When the writing's on the wall, if you don't want to listen, you're just going to end up with more failure. But again, when do studios listen? The more things change, the more they stay the same. They're as stubborn as anybody else. And if you do a prequel, it would be like when Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels didn't come. Okay, Dumb and Dumber had a prequel. I actually didn't mind that film. But I'm one of the few. And that film bombed. Dumb and Dumber when Harry met Lloyd. That film bombed. And people didn't give a shit about it. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective Jr. Son of the Mask. No Jim Carrey, no deal. Many of these other sequels, like, okay, we did Bloodsport sequels, but it's not Van Damme, it's Daniel Bernhardt. We did Tip Watcher sequels. We kill off Van Damme's character, we have Sasha Mitchell. You maybe make a couple bit of cash because it's direct-to-video. And hey, you know, we're bored, sure, rent that, we'll see what it is, get some shits and diddles. And hey, maybe some people like those movies as well, but they're not known as classics or masterpieces, let alone if they were put into an actual theater nationwide, would have made money. It would get roasted by the fans. People go, this is bullshit, why are you doing this? This actor is trying to get in the shoes of John McClane. It's not going to work. And I saw the Die Hard prequel. It's called Die Hard. That was the whole point of Die Hard. That's the thing. If you do a Die Hard prequel, then you're missing the entire fucking point of Die Hard. The point of Die Hard 1, one of the many points, is that John McClane doesn't do this normally. He doesn't do this all the time. That this would be the first fucking time he's experienced something like this. That he's a normal cop who's done normal things, who's on the job. He's an easy guy to like, but he's a hard guy to kill. And holy shit, I'm in this situation. And that's why he's perplexed and doesn't know what to do, and doesn't know how to do it. And he didn't even get his fucking shoes. And he's got his feet just cut up and covered in glass. They goddamn it think. He tried to figure out what to do and maybe get to the roof, try to call. What do you think, I'm ordering fucking pizza? That's the point. He's out of his element. As in, he's like a normal guy. He'd be confused, he'd be scared. But he's handling as best he can because of his cop. Because of police activities he's had before. In a normal way. Not, well, yeah, I'm John McClane. I stopped these terrorists from doing this. Or I stopped this from this. Like, what plot, what story? And if he did all this stuff before the first film, then he'd be this world-class detective that, my God, yeah, he could be a pain in the ass, but look at all these heroic deeds he did. No. Not the case at all. Defeats the purpose of who John McClane is. So again, a dire prequel would be pointless. And I'm sorry, there's nobody that would catch the Bruce Willis cadence like he did. The way he said the lines, the way he delivered those lines. What did people they said? Chris Pratt? No. I don't think Chris Pratt would do it. I think people would just remember Chris Pratt always trying to be Star-Lord again. So, no, I think Chris Pratt, if he's not careful, he's going to get people sick and tired of him because, oh, he's Guardians of the Galaxy and Jurassic Park. Now he's Mario. Now he's Garfield. What, now he's going to be John McClane? No, that wouldn't work. Aaron Taylor Johnson, not a good fit. With his... He's good in Bullet Train, using his accent and the way he played that character, but that character is nothing like John McClane. If he's trying to be more like that, it'd probably be more of a boring self, like Ford Brody, the character he played in the 2014 Godzilla film. Taylor Kish, no. I don't think he's that talented. No, there wouldn't be anyone to play it. The closest maybe Joseph Gordon-Levitt, because he played a younger Bruce Willis in Looper, and he did a pretty good job. So maybe if you had to pick Joseph Gordon-Levitt, but then you try to sit there going, who is asking for it? That's the thing. You want to give the audience something that they actually want to see. But who is wanting to see a dire prequel? If I did a poll, if I did this magic poll, most people would say no. I don't want to see it. Do you want to see a dire prequel? Yes or no? In the comments section. If you get to this point, say in the comments section, do you want to see a Die Hard prequel? I think the majority would say no, fuck no, shit no. The idea to kiss my ass, these people can kiss my ass, kiss your ass, kiss his ass, happy Hanukkah, whatever the fuck else is entering your brain cells, that's what you don't post. That's what you don't type, that's what you don't say. Which is an element of what the audience in general would fucking say about the whole goddamn thing. This is ridiculous, it's stupid, it's a stupid fucking idea. Let it go. When Bruce Willis retired, Die Hard retired with him. It's sad that it went out with a crappy movie like A Good Day to Die Hard that I tried to like. I tricked myself into liking when I saw in the theater because I liked the first four, including the fourth one. Yes, I liked the fourth one quite a bit. I still do. My favorite is still the first one, and then the third one. Die Hard, then Die Hard with a Vengeance. But Die Hard 2 is underrated. Live Free or Die Hard, I think, is underrated. In terms of, it did well at the box office, but people nowadays kind of take a shit on it. I disagree. Although I don't think Timothy Olyphant was the best choice for a villain. I agree with that. But I like the idea of the villains being hackers, cyber hackers. It was like a different type of terrorism for John McClane to go against. So it made it feel a bit different. I think the actions were handled well by Len Wiseman. I like Justin Long. And I thought Bruce Willis was on his A-game in that movie. They should have just gone for a full R rating to begin with. But I know you got the unrated cut, but you tell the lines are kind of put in after the fact. Because a lot of times they'll say the lines, but you don't see his mouth because it's like 80 yards in, these curse words. But I still quite like that movie. In Die Hard 5, I wanted to light. I tripped myself in the lighting in the theater. Then when I got home and I got the movie on Blu-ray, and I'm like, man, this isn't as good as I wanted it to be. Damn. Because I love the franchise, but the franchise ended with Bruce. And all these franchises just stopped. No more Halloween, no more Rambo, no more Lethal Weapon, no more Indiana Jones, no more Star Wars, no more Star Trek. Take a fuck. Star Trek, I could at least argue you could go create another show with a brand new set of characters, because that was a consistent thing from Star Trek to The Next Generation to Deep Space Nine. Star Wars, okay, there's a whole realm, a galaxy that you can work with. The Mandalorian, I liked the first two seasons. I didn't see the third one. Still haven't. I guess they're doing a Mandalorian movie now. Okay. See how that goes, I guess. So Star Wars is Star Trek. I mean, other than the Mandalorian, I like the first two seasons. The rest of them just tired of seeing. But this is like Wiggle Room, but like Indiana Jones. Beverly Hills Cop 4, I like the teaser. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully, they could very well fuck it up. We'll see. Love to be the exception to the rule. But at least you got Eddie Murphy coming back, and you're hoping they'll rectify the lame third movie and be better than that. But Beverly Hills Cop, like, they tried to do a TV show with Eddie Murphy, Axel Foley's son, joining the the police force. And they did the pilot, and the pilot's out there if you know where to look. Wink, wink. If you know where to look, you can find the Beverly Hills Cop pilot, and Eddie Murphy's in it for a couple scenes, and he was the only good part in it. But you could tell why they did not fucking go through with the show. Because on a tangent, they did the pilot, and they thought Eddie Murphy was going to do more. He's like, no, I'm not going to do more. Like, I did the pilot, but I'm not coming back on a weekly. No, this isn't a weekly thing for me. Oh shit, because you're the only thing worth a shit in this pilot. The rest of it, people were bored out of their skulls. Eddie Murphy? Eddie Murphy again? When you're doing the tests, and people showing the pilot, and which do you like, which do you not, which do you hate? Everything, except one thing. What do you like? The one thing. What's the one thing? Eddie Murphy. So thus the pilot didn't get picked up and didn't become a series. Just this failed pilot that I need you to find out there to watch if you know where to look. Because people didn't want to see Beverly Hills Cop without Axel Foley being the star. And played by Eddie Murphy. No, we don't want Die Hard if it's not Bruce Willis being John McClane. And since he can't do it anymore, you're done. I would say even if he could do it, you'd be done too. He's been too old for it. Just let it go. That's what made the 80s and 90s work, is that, yeah, there were things that came back. Bram Stoker's Dracula and Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, we utilized Dracula, Frankenstein, Monster, and stuff, and the Monster Squad. But then the 80s, we had RoboCop, we had Die Hard, we created Lethal Weapon, we created Beverly Hills Cop, we created, we took a novel, made First Blood, and then we created our own movie franchises and our own characters that gained a huge amount of fruition. I know that sentence didn't make sense because I'm out of it. Fucking out of it. My point is that we were able to create these new franchises, which then spawned merchandising, video games, sequels, became part of pop culture. What new things? I'm not talking about Marvel superhero shit. What new things are we creating? John Wick, I'll give you. Not a whole lot you to say. They're really going to become this pop culture status that we're going to be talking about years and years later. There's all shit that I remember that from 20 years ago. Because there were movies made of it 20 years ago. And we can't get out of that rut, apparently. One of the many reasons which made 2023 such a terrible fucking year for movies. Anyway. So again, no one wants to see a Die Hard prequel. I'm sure this is a clearly a rumor right now, but it's still an idea that no one ever wants to fucking see. So just leave it alone and let it go. That's just my 2 cents. With that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later.